1, 2, 3, 4. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as a mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him. He'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He's calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua's coming again. Prepare the way. All these people make straight a path. For Yeshua's coming back, so we lift up as a mighty voice. Hosanna, hallelujah, Hosanna, hallelujah. For he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him. He'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua is coming again. The Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, for people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, for people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, for people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called the Son of Man who died for our sins was raised to life, and he's coming again. So prepare the way, for people of Yah, let us not delay. The shepherd is called, for he's coming in the clouds, his glory renowned. Make a path for him, and he'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in, for he's coming in the clouds with his glory renowned. Make a path for him, he'll be shining like the sun with the sword on his tongue. He is calling us in, so be ready. For Yeshua's coming again. He's coming again.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, family. My name is Jason,
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
and we are the Yahuwah and the Torah YouTube channel, and we thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us, family. We really, really, really appreciate you all. We are the family who believes that the laws, statutes, and commandments that are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are the rule set for life. They mean absolutely everything, and they are the way forward. And as we read through scriptures, there's no place in scriptures that ever says that the laws of our Creator are gone. That is what the majority of the 41,000 plus different religions believe, is that there are no laws, and that we are a people, a lawless people that are awaiting a special magical rapture that is going to come and take all the disobedient children of the plains and take them to somewhere else. And so we believe that is absolutely incorrect. We do not believe any of that. And we also use the proper names of the Creator of the universe and the proper name for his Son. And I'd like to explain this because I did get a comment from a sister this morning, and I had to do a little bit of thinking about it because people, I guess, don't understand it. Now, we have been reading and teaching on YouTube now for nearly a decade. And the biggest drive away from anybody ever securing into the word of our Creator is that they don't understand the words that we're talking about. When I say Yahushua, they have no idea what that even means. And so when I use the word Jesus, when I use the name Jesus, I am using a nickname for the Creator's Son. And when people don't understand why I use the word Jesus, which I rarely ever do, but here's the understanding is there's very, very few of us that actually know the name of our Creator and his Son. Very, very, very few. So the majority of the world, if you go say Yahushua, they're going to look at you with a glaze in their eyes. They have no idea what you're even saying. So if you're trying to reach for men, if you are trying to reach for people out there, you're not going to be doing it with the understanding of the things that we understand. Right? That is why our eyes have been opened and our ways have been opened, but we have to teach with simplified teaching. Now, if I simply say Yahushua said this, and I have 38,000 different subs on my YouTube channel, and 37,000 of them know who Jesus is, but they don't know who Yahushua is, then it is best if we fish for men and we toss that line out there with a name that they recognize so that we're able to hook them and we're able to bring them in there. So if I use the name Jesus Christ, please don't throw the whip across my back and say that I'm doing this wrong, because all of us have come from a place where we learned about Jesus. That's all we knew. And when we come out of Christianity, we're not going to get into Torah keeping the way that we're keeping Torah keeping if we don't even have a proper understanding of the names. So the name of our Messiah, first of all, the name of our Creator is Yahuwah, Yad-He, Wav-He, Yad-He, Vav-He. It depends on how you want to say it. Some say it with a W, some say it with a V, some say Yahovah. This is the name in Paleo-Hebrew, the closest that we have to the name of our Creator. Now, if you're looking at the name of, I don't actually have the back of it, but the back of Yah Scriptures actually has Yahushua, which has the name of the Father in there, and then it has the ending to it. And so Yahushua means salvation, right? There's also others that say Yeshua, and that is a shorter form of Yahushua. So I think we're all very, very close with the name of our Creator, the name of his Son. But when I speak using the word God or using the word Jesus, I'm not fishing for you guys that are already on this channel. I'm fishing for those outside of the other 37,000 that could potentially understand who Jesus is, and they want to serve the Creator of the universe, and this is the beginning of it. So, guys, with that, Cade, open us in prayer.
First, Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for your Shabbat, and we thank you for your day of rest, the day you have set apart for us, as we know. You know we needed rest, and you know that we need a day for you, a day where we can spend with you and learn your word and understand what you have put before us in these amazing books, what you have put before us in the scriptures that you wrote out. You knew thousands of years later there would be people that would seek your Torah, seek your ways. Here we are, united family, seeking your Shabbat, seeking your holy days, seeking obedience to your word and to your Torah. We ask that this counted righteousness to us. We ask that today is blessed. In His name, amen.
All right. So, guys, this is what we're going to do right out of the gate. If you guys don't go anything past this, for all those new folks who actually watch this to this point, guys, what we're about to read is one of the greatest commandments that we even have. And this comes out of the book of Deuteronomy. And this is not just a commandment, this is the commandment. If there's only one commandment that we could ever learn and ever write on our heart and minds, then this would be the one. Jaden, Read this for us, will you please?
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children. You shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them as a sign in your hand, and you shall be fronts between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Okay, so here we are, guys. It begins off and it says, "Hear, O Yisrael," and this is saying, "Hear you." If you guys are listening to this stream, if you guys are listening to this reading, you guys could potentially be Yisrael. You could be a Hebrew person, right? There's no other identifier in scriptures for the people of our Creator other than Hebrews, right? The Yisrael. And the beginning of this is here. It's Shema, hear and obey. And what are we supposed to hear and obey? We're supposed to hear that Yahuwah is one. Okay? Well, that right out of the gate, if we want to consider the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit all as one entity, well, then we have a problem. Because inside of what the educational system will call the biblical hermeneutics, they will tell you that once something is established in the scriptures, in the Tanakh, it doesn't change. Now, if Yahuwah were 3 or 2, that's what it would say. But if we continue on from the scriptures right here and we believe in a Trinity, then all of a sudden we are believing something outside of scriptures. These are very important things to understand. Continuing on is that we're supposed to love the Creator of the universe with every single last bit of our heart, with all our being, and with all our might, right? That is how hard you are supposed to love the Creator of the universe. Now, guys, let's have common sense, right? When you say you love somebody with all your heart and you truly mean it, that means you'll die for whatever it is. You will do whatever it takes. If you love something with all your heart, that is your life. That is everything that you should be doing, right? So our Creator says we're supposed to love Him. And if we love Him with all our heart, then what He says in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are the words which He has been commanding today, right? This is what He's talking to us about. He's not talking about anything else other than the words He's commanding us today, that we need to keep them in our heart. We're supposed to dial them into our children, right? We're supposed to stamp them into the souls of our children. By the time the kids are out of our house, these guys should be such hardcore Torah keepers. That's our job as parents. If we have not done this for our children, if we have not brought them up into Torah, then we have brought them into generational curses. And every single thing that happens to your children, we will be judged for. That is what the book of the Nazarene very, very clearly says. And it's something that very much scares me, because it says I will be judged up to the 10th generation for the problems that I give my children. Now, if my children end up murdering somebody or doing something, this is on me. Right? There's something that I have done wrong in bringing my children to fruition, that my kids would go out there and take a life. And so if we are walking the Torah as parents, if we are walking the Torah as our family, and a lot of times we don't get into Torah until it's way too late. We don't get it until our kids are already in trouble. We don't get it until our kids are already beyond what we believe is holy, what we believe is Kodesh. And if we are taking this simple verse right here and we simply keep this as our doctrine, then our kids, when we got up in the morning, we'd be talking about Torah. When we go to bed at night, we're going to be discussing Torah. We're going to be asking them how much scriptures did they read during this day? How many scriptures did you read during the week? If you have something as frontlets between your eyes, it's like a baseball cap that the end of the bill has a little down, it's a little thing dangling. You would have the Torah right before your eyes, that everywhere that you look, you couldn't turn your head unless you looked at the world through the Torah. That's what we're talking about right here. And so if we love our Creator with all our heart, mind, and soul, then we will love what He says. But if you hate the Creator of the universe, then you will say things like the laws are dead. The laws don't matter. That you will say things like Jesus fulfilled all the laws. Jesus died so I could be whatever I want to be. And again, when I'm talking about Jesus, I'm not talking about the name Jesus is a pagan name, right? It's the son of Zeus. But we have grown up in indoctrination. 1611, the year 1611, they put Jesus into scriptures. Prior to that, they had the name wrong again. They had it as Iesus. So you either have Zeus or you have Iesus. But this is what opening your eyes and loving our Creator with all our heart, with all our mind, and with all our soul is about. And so, guys, with that, what we are going to do right now is we are going to go through these most beautiful laws, statutes, and commandments that we can possibly ever find. And so this is called the Torah. And the Torah simply means the way forward. Now, before we go through this, Mr. Cole, will you please say hi to all of our family here?
All right, we got Candy and Ruby. The grandma's here. Yehoshua in Hebrew means salvation. Irma. Sister Barb. Jeremy and Callan. Obi Lines, Chris. I'm scrolling. Stella G. Honeymoon Stitch, Brian. Man, I think is how you say that, man. I don't know. Joanna is here. We haven't seen her for a long time. Sylvia, Elizabeth, Body of Messiah, Tamara McKee. Still scrolling. I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry.
All right, and if you...
And Sister Barb, you were asking about the book of Khalid, the Nazarene. It's in the Apocrypha. It's the last book in the Apocrypha. So you have to download the whole Apocrypha on the Yah Scriptures, and it's the last book on that PDF.
Yeah, and so you can go to yahscriptures.com, go to download, and then grab the Apocrypha. And inside of that, there's a menu system that you can do that Nicole put together, and you just click, and you can click into the book of Khalid. So... this is, I think this is it on this. Let us go over this real quick. Okay, Torah commands. Guys, these are these laws, statutes, and commandments that our Creator has told us that we need to keep for all generations, for all times, for all peoples, for all creeds, for everything, right? This is what when you look at the book of Deuteronomy, and you look at the chapter 28, it's the entire chapter is about all of the blessings that the people of our Creator will receive when they obey the laws, statutes, and commandments. It is a beautiful, beautiful chapter. But then you have the last half of that chapter, and the entire thing is full of all the curses that us and our family and all of our generations will be under if we don't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. And as people have said, the greatest curses that you have had are not knowing all of the blessings you could have had, right? If we are keeping covenant with our Creator, the blessings flow in. The blessings from protection to taking care of us to having every last breath that we are dialing in being very important to the Creator of the universe. And that is why it is in our best interest to be on the proper side of the Creator of the universe. And those who say this is bondage, there's no such thing. That's blasphemy. Those who say that the words of our Creator are too much to handle, or we can't do this, or any other reason beyond that, guys, that is the devil getting into religion. That is the devil getting into all of this, and it is changing the hearts, minds, and souls of everybody out there. All right, so here we go. Let us begin with the Torah commands. Commandment number 1, be fruitful.
Multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing, and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Okay, and then when it says every moving thing that lives shall be food for you, you will have an entire group of the Christians that cannot get rid of their pork rinds, that cannot get rid of their unclean foods. They love their lobster, they love their stuff, and they will look at this verse and goes, right there, every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. Okay, well, if that is your understanding, then as you're looking out, seeing that the humans that are walking around could be food for you, if that is your understanding and that's what you want to say, that's not a good idea, right? Because if you think that every moving thing that lives shall be food for you, there's a lot of poisonous things that'll kill you, right? You can't take one piece of scripture and make an entire doctrine out of it, because we have the entire doctrine presented right before us that we don't have to make these guesses on. We don't have to wonder what this means, because we have a Leviticus 11, and Leviticus 11 clearly tells us the clean food and the unclean food. Okay, do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahweh's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahweh's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, the festival of matzah.
There is one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's law for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
All right, I'm just trying to read it. You have something in the comments, Mr. Cole?
No.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false reports.
Do not follow the multitude of evil.
Do not judge righteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
You know, we live in a world of rumors and gossipers, right? We live in a world of Facebook. And I think it's been over a decade since we actually ended our Facebook account. Nicole and I had one. We had it back in the days when it first came out. Nicole and I were always at the breaking edge of technology and breaking edge of all these little social media platforms and things like this. And it wasn't too long when we had Facebook that we decided that it was one of these things that could absolutely ruin families. And it's something that is just really, really, really bad. If you're on Facebook, it's all just that. Rumors, gossipers, just, trying to get into others' lives when we can't even control our own lives, right? We're trying to get into all of this, and it's a mess. And so these are the things that the people of Yah are different, right? We stay away from things like this. All of these laws, statutes, and commandments are things that, as a whole, make us a better people. As a whole, it makes us far better than what we could possibly be. Pay attention, Jade. Okay, let's go. Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Your land rests in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make use of Yahuwah on another person. Do not make his perfume on another person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do. Return what is your neighbor's. Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the day of atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not
All right,
reap the corners of your field. You shall not glean your vineyard.
You guys are speed racers here today, huh? You're going to make it through NASCAR in one round? Okay, what do we have in chat? It's gossip mongering, yeah. That's what I'm going to. Fake book, yeah, absolutely. Facebook is one of these places you could absolutely reach a tremendous amount of people, and we never ever got on there because of the issues that we have seen where it has literally destroyed families. I mean, you'll get two there, and somebody says something, and all of a sudden you have all of the people in an entire town that know all sorts of dirt stuff, and it could be truth, it could not be truth, but it's literally family wrecking time. And we've gone from a world that we never used to have this. Think about a world before the internet. Think about the world before TV. It was a much, much better place. The greatest thing I think the devil ever did to solidify his place in this world was bring a TV to light. Once he got the one-eyed sleep snatcher, then he got everybody who's basically enslaved. The slaves of the devil are the people that sit there and watch television programming. It goes and it expands onto that, right? It expands into Facebook of this stuff, right? These are all things that we absolutely should not be a part of. These are things that we should be separated from. We shouldn't be exposing our dirty laundry to the rest of the world. We shouldn't be out there exposing other people's dirty laundry to the rest of the world. There's wrong things with the social media that we have today, and everybody's lives are in everybody's business, and it's a mess. Okay, continuing on. Do you have anything?
No, just our roof again. Sounds like rain.
Yeah, it does. Sorry, guys. It's not windy here. This is just a normal day with the sun hitting our roof. And so, Facebook is absolutely the government, without a shadow of a doubt. Zuckerbucks got loans from the government long before this. It's all a government entity. Google is a government entity. They got busted years ago when they were handing over all the data. There was a time and space back in the days, if you guys remember, when all of these so-called privacy places, And in fact, I used to work at Google, right? I worked at Google because their motto was, don't be evil. That was the only reason that I ever got and hooked my star to Google when I went there, is because I thought the company wasn't evil. And then after 4 years, I figured out that they were beyond evil, and they were doing very much evil things. Things before the CIA ever got caught busting, basically taking all the US people's information. That's what they are. And so, guys, we need to be separated from all of this stuff, right? We need to be in our Kodesh books. We need to be with our families. We need to be around those who are lovers of our Creator. And I don't know so much as there's a lot of people out there that truly love our Creator. And if you don't love the Torah, then by default, you absolutely hate the Creator of the universe. Okay, continuing on. Where are we at, guys?
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
You know, I want to go into this do not hate your brother here, because we have, this is, you know, there's a lot of examples in my own family about things of this nature, right? I have 3 boys, right? 3 boys who are all brothers. And one of the absolute hardest things that I struggle against is unbrotherly love. And things that if somebody from the outside came and messed with one of the brothers, all of them would destroy that. But internally, I don't know if I could say that I see brotherly love. I don't know so much as I could say that, hey, I know what these guys love each other with every last part of their being. And so as we struggle with things in our house like this, and as I read the book of the Nazarene, it's very, very clear that when we hate our brother, when we hate anything, and I can only relate to this family right here, but we don't make the Shamayim. We don't make the kingdom to come. The kingdom to come is a different set of people. And as I read through the Nazarene, I wonder if I'm ever going to make the kingdom. As I read through this, and as I look at what I should be under the guise of the Torah, how my life should be, how I should be acting, if it is based upon a single incident, I'm doomed. We are all doomed. And the kingdom to come is a group of people who are Kodesh people. Like, it's not going to be these wishy-washy people that don't keep Pesach. It's not going to be the wishy-washy people that don't keep Sukkot. It's going to be the people that are loyal to our Creator. I don't think most people make it. And I wonder and I worry about my family. I worry about my boys, where there is no brotherly love, where we have simple things like this, right? Do not hate your brother. But inside of my own house, it simply looks like everybody hates each other. And maybe you guys out there who aren't only children can explain a little bit more about this, because as an only child, it doesn't look like to me that there's brotherly love within this. And if we have a Torah command that we are not to hate our brothers, but yet we do this, how are we ever expected to make the kingdom? And this would go for everybody else, right? If we have brothers and sisters out there, and Messiah clearly tells us that those who are our brothers and sisters are those who are keeping the Torah. So these are all commands that may seem simple enough, and we're just reiterating them, but every single one of these Torah commands has so much substance, has so much life, it has so much value that we have to keep all of the Torah, that we can't be lacking in one certain spot. We can't love our Elohim with all our heart, mind, and soul, but yet hate our brother, and we can't even get along with them. That's a problem that we all have. Okay, continuing on.
The Grand says this too will pass, Jason. Siblings have been going through this for centuries. Look what happened to Joseph.
Yeah, I know, they threw him down the well. That's the thing. I'm looking outside my house. I'm wondering if these guys are digging a well, because sometimes I go looking for them to see where they're at. Maybe they might be down the well. That's how it is. And I hope this passes, Graham. I really do. And thank you very, very much for that, because I needed a little bit of encouragement on this, because I wonder. I really, really wonder. Continuing on. Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with the taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard at the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Eat the feast of first fruits.
Doing all right, Kate?
Shavuot.
Sure. No, hey,
Keep the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Torah.
bro, just because we have to bring examples into this, I think there's other people out there that probably have the same wonderment going on. If I am the only parent that is out there wondering if the kids hate each other to death, I think I would be an anomaly. So, Having correct weights and measurements, guys. Again, we're back to these simple commands, right? It seems simple enough, but yet we live in a world that the people of our Creator get ripped off all the time. And the people of our Creator are not to rip people off all the time. It's almost impossible to go anywhere without somehow getting ripped off by people that have incorrect weights and measures. And some actually take that to a whole nother degree. Some actually have a whole grift about things like this. But when we are Torah keepers, when we value the words of our Creator, then any business transactions that we do, anything that we do, we need to do it fairly. We need to do it with the eyes of the Torah. We need to do it with these things as frontlets between our eyes. What you got?
Elizabeth says, there are 5 girls in our family. We understand. Reality is we adore each other. We have disagreements, but we are learning to go to each other with our hearts and Yahuwah in our hand.
Thanks, sis. Yeah, see, and see, boys, this isn't something I think is an isolated incident here. It's just one of these things that as we go through Torah, I like to address this. And as much as my boys absolutely hate when I bring up our own issues, I think there's teaching and I think there's things out there that all of us can understand. And so, yeah, and like Sister Barb says, a quiet and gentle spirit will get you everywhere. And that's what, when the boys start arguing, that's the last thing we have. None of us have a quiet and gentle spirit. And these are things that we absolutely need to do to become stewards, to become those who inherit the kingdom to come. Because I don't think we're going to be sitting there in front of Messiah bashing our fellow man, right? We're not going to be sitting there making lewd and crude jokes when Messiah is sitting there. That's why I tell everyone here in this house, understand that Messiah is getting reports of everything that's happening. The heavens, the stones of the Shemaim, the scrolls are being recorded. Every idle word that we say, regardless if it's to our internal family, is going to be used against us. And if we have to love our brothers as ourselves, and if we do not love our brothers as ourselves, and that's part of what the Shemaim is, a lot of us could be in a lot of trouble. What you got?
The Grand says, my mother used to get so frustrated with me and my brother and our constant bickering. She used to say, go ahead and go kill yourselves.
Go kill each other.
Go kill each other.
Yeah. Yeah, no Torah.
No Torah when she was growing up.
Well, and that's the frustration that parents get because it seems nonstop. It's like a nonstop battle. And that's why I find it so fascinating that if somebody comes from the outside and pokes the kids the wrong way, you got a whole bunch of brothers that will take care of business. But internally, that's just what we live with. So, yeah, thank you guys. What's Obi-Wan say? I used to fight with my brother all the time, and I imagine ways to hurt him, but I never hated him despite what I may have said to him. See, and that's the thing, too. That's what I ask the brothers. You know, they'll be sitting there. I have to pick them up from a rolling around with a fist fight, and I'm like, guys, you're supposed to love each other. They're like, we love each other. This is love. I'm like, okay, well.
Jeremy says, me and my brothers fought and argued constantly as well, but we still love each other. I think that has always been a thing with brothers.
Oh, man, maybe it's just me as an only child. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I needed a brother. I probably would have killed him. That's probably why I didn't have a brother. Okay, continuing on. Do not walk in the manners of the nation. Guys, this is very, very, very critical. Every single command that we do, even though I don't stop on it and touch on it, is absolutely very important. Guys, this comes back to the Facebook, right? This comes back to, do we have our TikTok? Do we have this? Are we mainstream? Are we hip? Are we doing everything who is it, the Hatfields and McCoys? What are those people doing everything that the Joneses do? Is the Saint? I think that was the Saint. I can't remember if the Saint. I think Graham would probably know it. But we don't want to be walking in the manners of the nations. Guys, we are a set apart people. Being set apart means just that we don't look like the world. We don't speak like the world. We don't talk this. It's different. And so we have to be different in everything we do. And it's just not on Shabbat, guys. It's just not on the seventh day. It's every single day because the kingdom is coming. Our Messiah is coming. The kingdom should be heralded. It is being heralded. Messiah heralded it. John the Immerser heralded it. It is on its way. That's what we know. If we want to be a part of it, we have to be a Torah-keeping, Messiah-loving, Yah kingdom-building people, right? There's a way forward. Okay, continuing on. Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, and the Omer cow.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Torah. Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
Guys, and these three appointed times right here are all about the beginning of our Messiah and the return of our Messiah. right? When we're talking about the Feast of Trumpets, a lot of people don't even know what the Feast of Trumpets is. Back in the day, and I'm not talking about the appointed time right here, but there was a time back in Israel when somebody would be elected king or the king would be there. They waited till the Feast of Trumpets, and this is something that a lot of people don't know. Probably my family here don't know. Is that when the Feast of Trumpets came, they would blow this trumpet, and that new king, everybody would get down, and everybody would worship it. It wasn't just about a blowing of the trumpet of our local administration. When we are blowing the trumpets, there is a very good chance on this appointed time that Messiah Yahushua may make his return. It makes a tremendous amount of sense from all of these appointed times, from the Feast of Sukkot, when Mary and Joseph were hanging out, to all of these appointed times. Everything, it's literally an appointed time. Messiah came on an appointed time. He died on an appointed time. He will return on an appointed time. And those who are sitting there keeping these appointed times are those who are going to be ready for this kingdom walk. If you're not, good luck. And you will have all these 30, 41,000 different religions, and they don't keep the appointed times, right? They have Christmas, and they have Easter. They have all of these things that are pagan, satanic, demonic, and they will lead your family to hell.
We have a new person, David Michael, and he says, didn't Jesus do away with all this in the parable of the wineskins?
The parable of the wineskins. Well, here's the problem with here's the thing, right? When we're talking about the parable of the wineskins, what are we talking about, gentlemen? We're talking about new wine being put into old wineskins, right? This is the thing. The Torah has never, ever been taken away from us. It will never, ever be taken away from us. Messiah never, ever came to get this around. Guys, where was I just reading this in the book of the Nazarene? Here, I'm going to take us out of this real quick. We got to go.
9.
Yeah, no, where I was at with the Nazarene. Just this morning I was reading it. I guess I won't jump over to it. But it is very, very clear where Messiah talks about this. He's not talking about getting rid of the Torah. He's talking about doing the Torah properly. And if we are stuck in it's not even the old ways of doing it. Pull this up. Somebody pull this up. Where's that at?
I think it's Nazarene 9.
Is it Nazarene 9? I'm taking a jump over here, guys. So we're going somewhere else. We've never done this before. We're gonna run into this, and I think I was on.
If you just click read, isn't that where you were last?
No, that wasn't where I was at.
Or you can go to history.
Where's history at?
So if you go home and history.
Oh, history actually works. Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that.
But you can't click on it though, so
Looking
that it
at
can at least
history.
tell you.
10. I think it was on 11. All right, I don't know where it's at, guys. I've just doomed us again. All right. Somebody explain this. Find it in the scriptures, Jaden, please.
In the Nazarene.
Find it in Nazarene, because that's a very, very good example of it. Let's look at 9 real quick. Sorry, guys. I'm looking through this, and I think it was actually in 11. And all my boys have been tasked with actually reading this and trying to memorize this book, but I only got one of the 3 that do it. All right. Anyone give
It's 721.
721 in Nazarene?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 721. Let's talk right here. Okay, let's talk. 7. I just messed this up. 721. Okay, let's read this real quick, guys. This is the book of the Nazarene out of 20. One of the Parashim, who the Pharisees, who was nearby, said to Yahushua, "We understand your meaning, but where do you stand in relation to the Torah? Have you come to take it away or declare it obsolete?" And that was the same question I think Brian had. Is that Brian or
David?
David. I think that's the same that David just said, right? So, David, these are the words of our Messiah that he's going to reply back to us. And he says this: "No one patches an old cloak with new fabric, for this shows up its age without strengthening it. Likewise, no sensible person puts new wine into old wineskin, for this causes them to split, the wine pouring out, so neither the wine nor the wineskin have any value. It is not much wiser to put new wine into new wineskins. I have come to place something beside that which is already there, to hold a mirror to the Torah and to man, so both may be seen with greater clarity." Okay, now here, go back. I think it's a 9 or something. What was I just reading today? I think it was 9. Let me see. Where is it, the Torah, guys, on this whole thing? Or it might be 11 where I'm at. Sorry, guys. We will find this.
What are you looking for?
The Torah, where he says clearly in this as well. Where he's talking about Torah. Okay, I pasted it all today. So you guys enter for. No. Sorry, guys.
Yes, 9.
We're at
32, I think.
9:32.
I think it might be 34.
2. Okay, so let's talk to this a little bit on this thing right here. So Natstream 934 says this: "He that is near me is close to a blazing fire and may get burned, but he who withdraws from the heat withdraws from the Shemaim. Some have said the yoke of the Torah sits heavy on our shoulders, but I tell you, I come not to lighten, but to magnify the responsibility. Moshe brought the Torah, which says, 'Do not kill.' But I say, any who releases anger on his brother without just cause shall not escape the judgment." That's funny. You guys actually mentioned that verse right there, right? So the whole point of this is, guys, we are told that we want the Torah is good for all generations. It is never ever going to be taken away from us. It will always be. The wineskin parable has nothing to do with like the Torah being gone. Nothing like that. In fact, let me do one other thing. If David, if you're still out there, let me show you what happens if we are lawless. Because right here in Matthew 7, this particular verse right here, verse 23, the lawless people who do not keep the Torah are sent to hell. And so let me read this for everybody who's there. Starting at 21, "Not everyone who says to me, Adonai, Adonai, Master, shall enter into the reign of the Shemaim, but he who is doing the Torah of my Father in the Shemaim," right? Because we don't have any other understanding of what the desire of the Father is if we have discounted the first 5 books of Scripture. So the desire of the Father is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And then Messiah continues on. He says, "Many shall say to me in that day, Master, Master, have we not prophesied in your name and cast out demons in your name and done many mighty works in your name?" These are all clearly people that think they know Jesus the Christ very well. They think they know Yahushua HaMashiach very, very well. And then Messiah declares, "I shall declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work lawlessness." And so, guys, that is a death sentence right there. That is a spiritual death sentence to hell. That is for everybody that is understanding or is willing to listen to the Torah. If we are lawless, Messiah by his own mouth says we are sent to hell. All right, let's continue on with the Torah commands. Where are we at, gentlemen?
I think we're on to keep the Feast of Sukkot.
Keep the Feast of Sukkot. Where are we at?
It's in Leviticus 23.
Leviticus 23, 34, 36,
Leviticus what?
David's-
23.
David just said, "Wow, this is astounding teaching. I'm actually from Lincolnshire in England. Your teaching is teaching far side."
Oh, amazing, incredible. Yeah, that's the hand of our Creator. That's not my teaching. I'm simply just I'm repeating what we have been given, which is why it is such a gift to all of us that a lot of us don't know the way forward. We've been taken into religion and we've been told traditions of men, and then when we actually read scriptures, it goes against that. And one of the biggest things that we can ever do is protect our souls and the souls of our family, which is why we always do the commands on this. Okay, now where am I at, fellas?
Keep the Feast of Sukkot.
Okay,
All right,
you guys keep rolling. I'm gonna try to find this.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The law of being an Nazir.
Wear easy down the 4 corners of your garments.
The law of whoever touches the corpse.
You guys, where are you at, real quick?
Numbers 19.
Numbers 19. There we are, right there. Okay, law of whoever touched the corpse. Thank you. Sorry, guys.
Follow Yahuwah's Torah, the law of inheritance.
The law of keeping oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word. Guys, very, very, very important. We have 41,000 different religions, and we have broken this commandment. Because when we keep Sunday service, when we are worshiping on the first day of the week, that is contrary to all of the times we have been told to keep Shabbat. We've been told to keep a seventh day Shabbat. So here we are. So if we're worshiping on a Sunday, if we're keeping things like Easter or Christmas or any of these other things, and we think they're appointed times by our Creator, we're adding to and taking away. And that takes us to the next one, which is probably one of the most important things that we can ever do, because the only thing when we take our last breath, all we have left is our soul. What have we done? What did we do here on this earth? Have we walked with our Creator? Have we walked against Him? Are we doing His laws, statutes, and commandments, or are we against Him from that nature? Okay, and then I guess that takes us to the next one. Learn to fear Yahuwah. If we don't fear God, our Creator, then we're not going to care what He has to say. We're going to say it's all been nailed to a tree and it doesn't matter, and we're waiting on that magical rapture school bus. Okay, what do you got?
Stella wants to know if you can elaborate on without just cause.
Without just cause, where was that at? Help me out here.
I think it's up a little bit.
Just cause? Guys, where are we at? I don't remember
I don't
just
know.
cause.
What were we talking about?
Miss
here?
Stella, can you help us out a little bit more on the just cause? I might have said something, but I don't recall what it is. All right, guys, let's continue on.
Oh, was that when you release your anger on your brother without reason? Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know.
That's what we read in Nazarene.
Possibly. Let's see what she says. We'll get back to it. Okay, guys, continue on. Learn to fear Yahuwah. And when we'll stop on the second when it goes.
You
Okay.
shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Chris does say unleashing anger on your brother without just cause.
Oh, yeah. So there's always going to be, and again, the book of the Nazarene, you get a tremendous amount of understanding. The one thing that we get in the book of the Nazarene that I just barely read today is that we are to love our enemies, right? But we are not to love what our enemies do, right? If our enemies are into evil, we need to reject that. We need to reject all parts of this. But we still need to love our enemies, right? And there's always times where you're going to get mad at your brother, and there will be a just cause, right? And Messiah talks about righteous anger. He talks about that there is a righteous anger, and the example again comes from the book of Nazarene, because one of Messiah's disciples said, "Hey, you got mad at this guy," and Messiah says there are just causes. There's reasons to do it, right? If you're, say for instance, your brother is breaking Torah, and it's coming back and it's hurting your family, right? Those are just causes that you're going to get angry with your brother, right? There's going to be righteous anger in that, in trying to do the righteous thing. We have to be able to understand what right and wrong is, and we'll never know what right and wrong is unless we have the Torah. Once we have the Torah, then we know what sin is, because that's the only place in Scriptures where sin is ever put. But there is times to get angry with your brother. There is times that life isn't just a perfect boat. There's issues a lot of times.
Irma says, would David's son killing his brother for what he did to his sister be a just cause?
You know, that's one of these things that, yeah, absolutely. And that's one of these things that we looked at King David, and of all the times that King David is this alpha male, he has some bad parenting. Like, this guy is a very, very bad parent, and you can see this over and over and over, because a lot of his kids go rogue right under his nose. A lot of these kids do. When his kid took off with Tamar, or it wasn't his Tamar. Who was that chick? Was it the daughter?
It was Tamar.
Yeah,
Was it Tamar?
Tamar,
Okay,
yeah.
we had two Tamars. So when Tamar was violated, that's one of these things, like, you would be very, very angry, right? The brother broke commandments by uncovering the skirt of somebody that was not supposed to, and that is the kind of stuff where alpha men are, from back in the day, were supposed to take care of business. That's why we have the laws, and some of these laws are really hard to understand, because let's say the law of adultery, right? If in Hebrew back in the days, if you got caught with adultery, you were doing it. The men of that town, and probably some women too, they would drag you outside the city gates and pick up rocks and kill you. That's what the justice was supposed to be. And we don't live in a society like that anymore. We don't live in a society of rules and regulations under the hand of our Creator. There's different ways. So, yeah, that's right. That would be righteous anger in that particular incident. So, all right, let's continue on. Write the Torah, laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes. One of these commands that are extremely important. The Christianity religion has us doing what is right in our own eyes. We can do whatever we want, and we can just ask Jesus for forgiveness in that particular religion. And that particular religion, you can do what you want, right? I lived 25, 30 years in the Christian religion. I was out there saving people. I had people raising their hands. I don't know how many people I saved as a Christian, right? Saved them to what? The depths of hell is what I did, right? Because I was in a false religion. I was sinning them. So what we're doing, if we're doing something but we don't know what Torah is, and we're refused to read Scriptures, then we're doing what is right in our own eyes. And there's a command that we're breaking right there. Continuing on, do not hearken to the words of the false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release.
No.
Give tithe of the increase of seed year by year.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart. or shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month one of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophetess of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is the double portion.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman shall not pertain to a man, nor a man where it pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies and not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
Torah of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
You lend to your brother. Do not enter his house to get payment. He must bring it to you. Turn his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back to the rotten sheep from the field, and for the stranger, fatherless and widow.
Okay, I want to go back real quick to the every man shall be put to death for his own sin, because it's very, very clear in scriptures that we do die for our own stuff. But there's also what you call a generational curse. And the generational curses are things that our kids inherit because we were maybe lawless as raising them. And so it is very important that that we understand that we will die for our own sins. But if we have raised children and our children have gone rogue, that regardless, all of this falls onto us for up to 10 generations, which is why we have to be very, very astute. And that's the problem, is where a lot of us, we didn't get into Torah until my kids were halfway through their life. We didn't know. We were good Christians. And so we have them basically mind controlled with all of these satanic cartoons, all of these satanic TV shows, all of the satanic stuff that they still remember into their adult life that I cursed them with as they were children, right? And what's the easiest way to babysit your kid? Flip a TV on and put some demonic garbage on, and then all of a sudden your kids are gone for a couple hours and you can do what you need to do, right? That was us. That was what I did. And so now we are facing a lot of the issues, and I see issues in their adult lives of things that I have done wrong as I raised them, and I'm always wondering about this 10th generation, and we're always trying to correct this and make the courses for this, and it's up to us. Once we know the Torah, we need to get out of these old stinking thinking, that stinking thinking that put Messiah where on the cross, right, on the stake. So let's continue on. Do not go back for the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
The end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, the Feast of Tabernacles.
Yep. Okay, I am, hey, we got David. That's David Wagner.
Yeah,
That's our brother who got the scriptures.
He just came in just a minute
All right.
ago,
Hey,
too.
good. Hey, good seeing you, Dave. Good seeing you, brother, man.
And he said he spent 40 years ministering the Pauline gospel
Us too, brother.
and the Roman roads.
Oh yeah, the Roman road to salvation. You know it, man. I was a Palestinian. I was heavy into Paul. Paul could save anyone. It didn't matter what it was, and yeah, I have a lot of this on my soul, right? I've doomed a lot of people to hell based upon this. Hopefully, this last decade will be a little bit better for Judgment Day, but we all will have a day of accounting when this comes. Okay.
And a new name just popped in, Sherry's Kitchen
Hi, Sherry's Kitchen.
and Sunflowers.
Hi.
Shabbat
Hi, everyone.
shalom.
Hey, everyone. Okay, where are we heading?
Leviticus
Leviticus
10.
Okay, here we are. Sorry, guys. I'm doing all of my own production today. So
Eli's with the 90-year-old people today.
yeah. So and that's the thing is, last time we talked to you guys about our family divided. Our family is still divided. There's one person out of our house at all times now, taking care of the two 90-year-old people. Gentlemen, both of you guys have spent several days up there. You both come back. You look very trashed. You look very owned by the time you guys come back. How is it taking care of two people that have 180 years of experience on them?
It's very tiring.
Very tiring. Tell me about this. What happens? Have you guys preached to them at all? Have you guys taught to them?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Come closer so everyone can hear. Eli told me yesterday, I think he said it'd be easier to get a brick wall to seek the Torah than it would be for these two old people to even care anything about the Torah. What is your guys' experience with this?
They don't care about the Torah. It's gone. It's done away with.
It is done away with.
It's done away with. It's all about Jesus and Paul, and
they don't really care. They say that Christians do not have to go to Judgment Day because they will, on the day of judgment they will not be judged because they believe in Jesus and they ask Him into His heart. So on Judgment Day they won't have to be judged. Only the people who didn't ask Jesus into their heart will have Judgment Day.
Yeah, every single one of us have attempted to seek some life into these 180-year-old people with the Scriptures, and they refuse the life. They refuse the good things of life. They take us as helpful, but they don't take the doctrine of Scriptures as helpful. And they actually, the old lady, she actually teaches a Bible class, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I teach it." It was all set to the New Testament. So it's really sad, the world that we get into and the traditions of men. And once you get to that age, I don't know so much as you will ever be able to break free of this thing. People have made their decisions, and at 90 years of age, I don't know, but we're going to continue on because we literally live with them now. One of my kids lives with them at all times, and we're always feeding them and taking care of them. So maybe at some point we can break on through. So if you guys can keep Fred and Marlene in your guys' prayers, that the Boss Clan is able to somehow crack through this incredible indoctrination of Christianity, that would be one of the greatest miracles. So we'll keep you guys informed on all this and how it goes. Okay.
Mr. Barb says, "Oh no, she teaches." Well, she hasn't been able to teach for a good 2 or 3 months, maybe more.
Yeah, 2 or 3
that.
months, but she still has these little Christian groups, and the Christian group came and grabbed the old timer, and they whisked him away.
Group, yeah.
Yeah. So, yep, under the Pauline spell. Yeah, there's a lot of people under the Pauline spell, and that's the problem if we don't read Scriptures. It's not on the Christians. The Christians aren't the ones that polluted us. We have polluted us by being lazy in our understanding of this. Okay, guys.
Jeannie says read the Torah to him. She did that with her mom at 90, and she ended up receiving it.
All right. Well, that's excellent news, Jeannie. So we will. There you go, guys. Now you have it. We have our little calendar date where everyone is. Eli's up there cooking, trying as best as possible not to cook on the Shabbat. But since these guys don't keep Torah, I've told Eli that we're there in their house, and to take care of them, we literally have to work. And so I don't think this is going to be a problem. I hope it's not. But here we go. Okay, Leviticus 10. Guys, tell me, anyone, Jaden, give me a recap of where we're at to this point. We are actually, we're usually wrapped up about this time. We went crazy today. Okay, hit it, Jay.
We've been learning about sacrifices and what to do on the sacrifices, what we do with sin or wave offerings.
Okay, so we have Moshe. Moshe was the man of Yah. He came and did what, Jade?
He came and brought the Torah to the people, freed the people from Egypt. He gave them the laws, he got the blueprints for the temple, and now he has the blueprints for how to do sacrifices and all of the Levites.
That was a real quick recap. Do you have anything else that we can recap those who have never read Leviticus before?
So we start off Leviticus after Genesis, Exodus, we get through all the generations of Israel gets stuck in Egypt. Egypt becomes Egypt becomes the master of the slaves of the Israelites, and then Moshe becomes the chosen one to bring these people free. Yahuwah chooses him to free the people, and they free the people. They end up at the mountain. They end up at the Mount Sinai, and they get the commands. And it's the first time the Israelites of this generation have ever heard certain commands: don't eat pork, don't make sacrifice to other gods, don't make idols. And this is new to them, but they end up making an idol and cutting part of themselves off, cutting part of that relationship off with Yah. They get more commands, and now we get instructions for building a temple and sacrifices, and certain people are building the temple and doing the sacrifices, and what the anointing of the people of Aaron are, and the people of the Levitical system is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So here we go. So here we are. This is kind of an incredible chapter. Let's read. And Nadav and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, each took his fire holder and put fire to it, and put incense on it, and brought strange fire before Yahuwah, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from Yahuwah and consumed them, and they died before Yahuwah. Then Moshe said to Aaron, "This is what Yahuwah spoke, saying, by those who come near, let me be Kodesh, and before all the people, let me be esteemed." And Aaron was silent. Now, you will have the very first thing that when you start talking to people about Torah, the very first thing they'll do, they'll go, "Oh, you still have Levitical sacrifices, huh?" And you're like, "No, we don't have a priesthood." And even these priests, when they did have a priesthood, they messed it up. So there would be zero way that you would ever want to attempt a sacrifice the same way the Levites were doing it. You're not a Levite. You don't have their understanding. You don't have their schooling. And these guys who were the sons of Aaron, they did know something. But there's something funny in this verse that we're going to understand and come to understand why they did what they did, right? And so if you're trying to create a sacrifice and you're out there doing this, you're going to create strange fire. And Yah will come down and he will mess that up. Okay, 4. And Moshe called to Mishael and to Elzaphan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aaron, and said to them, come near, take your brothers from before the Kadesh place out of the camp. So they came near and took them by their long shirts out of the camp, as Moshe had said. All right, so what do you guys make of this, taking them by their long shirts?
Probably so they didn't touch the corpses, so they didn't become unclean.
Yeah, and so there's a difference between this and we have another story in Numbers with Korach. And Korach gets burned up. All his people, everybody gets burnt to a crispy critter. This is a little bit different. These guys just got struck down. And yeah, and they're at this point they've just been killed by the hand of Yah. So they're carrying them out by their long shirts. 6, and Moshe said to Aaron and to Eleazar and to Ithamar, his sons, do not unbind your heads, nor tear your garments, lest you die, and wrath come upon all the people, but let your brothers, all the house of Yisrael, bewail the burning which Yahuwah was kindled. All right, guys, let's talk about this. So all of a sudden, the creator of the universe struck down 2 people that were in there, and then he tells the dad of them and the uncle, Moshe, that they're don't unbind your head. Don't tear your garments, right? Don't mourn in this particular way or you're going to die. Why do you think he said this?
Probably because he didn't want them to like mourn the sin. They died before Yahuwah. Yahuwah struck them down.
Yeah, and so there's an issue where people have to understand that the spankings of Yahuwah, when he spanks, we're not to be sad about it. This is something that he allowed to happen.
And probably Aaron's fault as well. He's probably punishing Aaron for some bad parenting.
There's probably some bad parenting because we actually come upon this here. We come up with kind of an answer here very shortly.
The next chapter, isn't it?
You want to
Nope.
tell the story
We're
of,
coming. Hold on. Don't any spoilers. Okay. And Moshe, where are we at? 7.
Yeah, I believe we're 7.
6, 7. Yes, 7. And you do not go out from the door of the tent of appointment lest you die, for the anointing oil of Yahuwah is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moshe. Now, this is where we start to kind of get something because this is a little weird. And Yahuwah spoke to Aaron, saying, do not drink wine or strong drink, you nor your sons with you, when you go into the tent of appointment, lest you die. A law forever throughout your generations, so as to make a distinction between the Kodesh, which is holy, and the profane, and between the unclean and the clean, and to teach the children of Yisrael all the laws which Yahuwah has spoken to them by the hand of Moshe. So right here, this doesn't exactly tell us what happened, but we can kind of get an interesting idea that perhaps the sons of Aaron were a little bit sauced up. Like they knew what they were supposed to be doing, but because they were drinking in the tent of appointment and they did something improper, and because of this, they got jacked up. Now, this is probably why Aaron was not able to mourn for them, because as a parent, these are all our things. These are these things down to the 10th generation. If these kids are in and around Aaron, it is very hard to get a drinking habit without the very people around you, the close people, understanding that you have a drinking habit or a problem with it. And to actually get sauced up before you go in to do a ceremony for the creator of the universe is very, very bad judgment. At the very least, it was extremely bad judgment. And this doesn't, that's the thing about scriptures. We don't have scriptures that say not to drink. And there's many times where people do drink. A lot of times it becomes a problem. Noah, it became a problem, right? A third of his family line was cursed, and that's where we ended up with a whole bunch of giants and a whole bunch of other stuff from, because of a cursing that came down from that line. So, continuing on. 12. And Moshe spoke to Aaron and to Eleazar and to Ithamar, his sons, who were left. Take the grain offering that is left over from the offerings made by fire to Yahuwah, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most Kodesh. Now, do you think Aaron had like a normal day after this?
No.
What do you think his day was like?
Sad.
Sad.
Do you think you could make it without shedding a tear? I mean, I think the public part of this was the big deal. Like publicly, he wasn't to be mourning his kids because of the sin that they had done, where they defiled this particular event. So it would be very, very hard, right? As any parent, anyone who knows, all of us as parents, our kids we don't obviously don't want to lose them. And in the event that something would happen to them, you're not going to walk around. You're not going to be okay for the day. You're not going to be okay that week. You're not going to be okay that month. You're going to be jacked up. Death of any kind of nature, whether it be pets or whether it be humans, it's not something that just disappears. Okay, continue on. Do you have something mystical?
Sister Barb just said one would be afraid of being struck down if entering drunk into a sacred place.
Yeah, well, now they would. You don't drink, fellas. Okay. 13. And you shall eat it in a Kodesh place, because it is yours by law, and your sons by law of the offering made by fire to Yahuwah. For so I have been commanded. And the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the contribution you eat in a clean place. You and your sons and your daughters with you, for they are yours by law, and your sons by law, which are given from the slaughterings of peace offerings of the children of Israel. Okay, what are we discussing here exactly? Food. We're discussing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? We're discussing the food that these guys get, that by them being priests, that they get. And this is why the entire religious system is completely jacked up, because you have all these people that are essentially charge you 10%, right? You can't go to a so-called church without being 10%. If you go to a Mormon church, they will actually take you and put you on a ledger, and you will be due for all that taxing, the tithing, right? And all of this is unbiblical. If all of these so-called satanic priests and pastors out there were doing this properly, then the people would come to them every Shabbat, not on a Sunday, and they would bring them food, right? They would be fed by these people. They would get new grain, an oxen would come in. All of these things that they're killing right here are going to feed the priests, because that's the only way these priests were ever to make their living, was to by ministering to the people for Yah. Now, continuing on, 15. The thigh of the contribution, the breast of the wave offering, they bring with the offerings of fat made by fire, to bring as a wave offering before Yahuwah. And it shall be yours, and your sons with you, as a law forever, as Yahuwah has commanded. And I think the chat died. I think YouTube continues on with their lacking. Anyway, I'm done. 16. And Moshe diligently looked for the goat of the sin offering and saw it was burned up. And he was wroth with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aaron, who were left, saying, why have you not eaten the sin offering in a Kodesh place, since it is most Kodesh? And Elohim has given it to you to bear the wickedness of the congregation, to make atonement for them before Yahuwah. Okay, so we have another incident inside of this where we have a goat that was the sin offering, and it was burned up. And Moses was really, really angry at Eleazar and Ithamar. And the question was, why didn't you eat the sin offering in the Kodesh place? And here's their answer. See, its blood was not brought inside the Kodesh place. You should, no, this is Moshe still, guys. He goes, see, its blood was not brought inside the Kodesh place. You should have eaten it without fail in a Kodesh place, as I have commanded. And Aaron said to Moshe, see, today they have brought their sin offering and their burnt offering before Yahuwah, and these have come upon me. If I had eaten the sin offering today, would it have been right in the eyes of Yahuwah? And when Moshe heard that, it was good in his eyes. Okay, so here we are. This is a very crazy chapter, because you have a couple of kids of Aaron, Aaron's a very Kodesh guy, right? Aaron may have had some issues somewhere here and there, or have been a little weary of certain things, but as far as being the Levitical high piece of this entire thing, that was Aaron. And so having his kids die in this fashion, this is very, very how the ways of our Creator are, and how he wants us to be Kodesh, how he wants us to be holy to him. And a lot of us don't understand this Kodesha. We don't understand the ways of the kingdom. The ways of the kingdom are going to have strict things like this, right? We're not going to be able to drink in the holy place. We're not going to be able to defile, do things in the kingdom to come. It's going to be a different walk that we have. And so all of these will give you guys the understanding of how our Creator is, and how his heart, mind, and soul is with all this. All right, does anyone else have anything for Leviticus?
I think that's it.
All right, we're late, but we're not real late, because I guess we have nowhere to go. It is a Shabbat. And so we are heading into Matthew, is it 10?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 10. Okay, anybody? Okay, Jade, give me a breakdown of where we are at in the life and days of Messiah. Somebody please take Leo, let him out the door. You don't need to walk out with him, Kate. Just open the door.
But everybody else is
yeah,
gonna go
okay,
with
so
him.
go
Hold
with
on.
him. Go ahead and open the door. Sorry, guys, we're just getting the dogs out. Okay, now you can go walk with them. Dogs are out. Jade, give me what breaks down.
Yehoshua was born. The people came after him.
When you say Yehoshua, who are you talking about?
We're talking about Jesus.
Jesus the Christ, Yehoshua. Okay, he was born.
He was born. The people came after him, wanted to kill him because they heard that he was the Messiah. So they came after him. His parents moved him down to Egypt when he was about 2 or 3 years old. He came back to Galilee and Nazareth, and he became a Galilean. And then he started doing miracles and started finding his Talmudian and his disciples. and he started doing the miracles of changing water into wine, and the people. And then he went and found all his people, and I think we're about to learn more about the people that he found to teach with him.
Yeah, and I guess I'll talk on Zacharist. Says, when you eat and drink, you remember Jesus every bath. Baptism, it is the way for every to be saved in every moment. Yeah, I don't know. That sounds like something outside of Scriptures. I've never heard of anything like that. Yeah, so I don't want people to get confused in the chat when they see things like this, and so I will address them in this way. And I mean, unless you have Scriptures on something like this, Zacharist, I don't. This sounds extremely like Catholicism-like, or it sounds like what the Christians would actually make up, something of the sort. Okay, Matthew 10:1. Here we go. And having called his 12 Talmidim near, he gave them authority over unclean spirits to cast them out and heal every disease and every bodily weakness. Big words right here, guys. These are things that the 12 disciples, this same authority is the same authority that we can gather and that we can glean as well. We have not been sent out defenseless into this world. We have the same kind of examples in our lives that the emissaries have. And these are the names of the 12 emissaries. First, Shimon, who is called Kepha, and Andre, his brother, Jacob, the son of Zabdi, and Yochanan, his brother, Philippos and Bartholomew, Toma and Matthiahu, the tax collector, Jacob of Kelif, and Level, whose name was Tadai, Shimon the Canaanite, and Yahuda from Kerioth, who also delivered him up. Okay, these are the 12 guys, right? These are the 12 guys that were picked. Somehow in the King James Version, you end up with Peter, you end up with John, you end up with, I can see where Philip came from, Matthew perhaps, but all of these guys' names, everything that we've been given were actually not their names. And so throughout these so-called translators that bring us scriptures, all the names were wrong. And so Kepha his name was never Peter. I don't know where they came up with that or who actually put that in there. So continuing on, for those who didn't know. It's 5, right? Yahushua sent these 12 out, having commanded them, saying, do not go the way of the Gentiles, and do not enter a city of the Shomerites, but rather go to the lost sheep of the house of Yisrael. Now, this is probably going to be very, very confusing to people, but here's what's happening right here, guys. In this particular time, we have 2 tribes of Israel who are the only tribes that Messiah is hanging out with right now. All of this. We have the tribe of Judah and we have the tribe of Benjamin. Now, the Christians, and in fact, my dear mother just told me this yesterday because she says, I am a proud, happy Gentile. And I said, Mom, you do not want to be a Gentile. I said, there's no place in Scriptures that there is a house of Gentile that is saved. I said, Mom, Gentile means you're not in covenant. And as the great Christian that she is, she don't give a rip about covenant. She don't give a rip about obeying the law, statutes, and commandments. And she don't give a rip about what the creator of the universe says. But if you ask her if she loves God with all her heart, mind, and soul, she will say absolutely. So what did Messiah just tell these guys? He says, don't go the way of the Gentiles. These people are not talking to the Gentiles. Who are the lost sheep of Yisrael? The only people in Scriptures that have ever been identified as sheep are Yisrael. He is talking about the northern tribes of Yisrael, all of them that got dispersed in 722 AD. That is who we're talking about. He's not talking about going to these Gentiles that have a ton of gods, that have a ton of ways, that have a ton of religions. He's talking about going to the people, the people of Yisrael, who at that point, they may have been Gentiles, but they still had an identity. They still knew exactly who they were, and that is who they are going to. He's going back to all the people that used to be part of the 12 tribes of Israel, is who's he talking about. He's not talking about the pagan Gentiles right now. Continuing on. 7, and as you go, proclaim, saying, the reign of the Shemaim has drawn near. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. You have received without paying. Give without being paid. Guys, these are words from our Messiah, that this is the reason that Yah Scriptures has always been free. Things like this, right? We are not to sell the word of our Creator. We could easily sell Yah Scriptures, the one that we're putting out there, for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Boss Clan could have become filthy rich physically and spiritually, we would be dead. When we start using the word of our Creator as life money and putting it to enhance our life and do all this, that's evil, right? We have been given the word. Nobody ever charged me for reading scriptures. We don't have to know what is there. Our Creator has paved the way that every single one of us, if we so choose, we can pick up the scriptures and read the Torah. We can read the holy books. But we can't charge for this. And all of these so-called Torah-keeping channels and all these people that have this donation links, that have all this stuff, I find it very evil. I've always found it very evil. That's why you will never find a single channel that we have. There's no way to donate cash to this family, ever. There just has never been, and there never will be. Because we are doing this because we love our Creator, we love all of you guys out there, and we want the kingdom to come. I want to meet all of you guys. I want to high-five you all in the kingdom to come. And there's not going to be a lot of people. I don't think there's going to be billions. I think there's going to be a few. Continuing on. Do not acquire gold or silver or copper for your money belts, for your journey, or 2 undergarments, or sandals or staffs, for the worker is worthy of his food. What is he saying by this, Jade?
No, you're worthy of your work. It's what you do. You get paid by your work.
If you go and you take care of the people of our Creator, they're going to pull up a table and they're going to feed you, right? Because you have spiritual gold that you are telling people that most people don't know, right? And Messiah says, don't worry about this trip. You're going to take very limited. You're going to take one thing, right? You're going to take some sandals. You don't need extra clothes. You don't need all this other stuff, because you're going to go and the people of our Creator will take care of his people. 11. And into whatever city or village you enter, ask who is worthy in it and stay there until you leave. And as you enter into a house, greet it. And if the house is worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it is not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whoever does not receive you nor hear your words, when you leave that house or city, shake off the dust from your feet. Guys, this is the same instructions that every single one of us have, right? If Messiah was talking to us today, he's going to go, guys, you need to go out into the cities, the villages, the places you live, the places you exist, and it's going to be bad. They're going to laugh at you. They're going to scoff at you. They're going to kick you out. They're going to beat you, right? That's what it's supposed to be. Look, if they don't want to listen to you, kick your shoes off on the way out, but at least that you gave it a chance. You at least tried to plant a seed. If we're not out planting the seed, then we're absolutely not bringing the kingdom to fruition. All of us are the soldiers of the stake. We are soldiers of the kingdom to come. And by us being soldiers, we need to get out, be courageous, and let people know the truth. Let these poor Christians who are stuck in a physical, spiritual hell, help them out. There's nobody else that's going to do it. And if you're not out planting the seed, who will? Continuing on. Truly I say to you, it shall be more bearable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Wow, this goes for all of us in today's world, right? Sodom and Gomorrah was one of the most corrupt places ever. And you can even get from the extracurricular books, from the Apocrypha inside of Yah Scriptures, you can actually find the vileness there's so many stories, I think it's in the book of Abraham, that is talking about how evil that place was. So guys, we want to be better than this. If we know the punishment that Sodom and Gomorrah has, and it's going to be worse to these cities in this day, then we need to be away from these cities. We need to be where our spiritual goals are being met. 16. See, I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. Therefore be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. But be aware of men, for they shall deliver you up to Sanhedrins and flog you in their congregations. Guys, this is the Christian thing, right? I send you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. But guys, if you are a Torah keeper and you love the word of our Creator, you love our Messiah, you are literally a sheep. And wherever you go, you're not going to find a tremendous amount of Torah keepers. You're not going to find people that are even interested in a different way or a way forward. Nobody cares about protecting their soul anymore. Nobody cares about anything. People are so caught up in the day activities that they're in. The last thing that they even want to do is try to protect their souls. So it's hard. That's why it's up to us to be those people who are out there talking to them, talking to the people. Okay, 18. And you shall be brought before governors and sovereigns for my sake as a witness to them and to the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, do not worry about how or what you should speak, for it shall be given to you in that hour what you shall speak. For it is not you who speak, but the Ruach of your Father speaking in you. Guys, the Ruach HaKodesh is the arm of the creator of the universe. It's one of these kind of hard to describe because we have the Trinity that everybody has corrupted into saying the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are this giant egg, and it all has one yolk, it has a shell, it's all just one egg, but yet there's three in one. This isn't what it is. The power, the ruach of the creator of the universe is essentially every breath that we take, everything that where we dwell, the ruach is all around us. It's everything, right? And it's the power that we are all able to gain. It is what our Creator has said He will give to us. It is what the Son came and tried to give out to the people, right? It is the power of the Creator that goes into human beings, and by that power, we are able to do amazing things. But we're not going to get to it without faith. We're not going to get to the power of the Ruach HaKodesh unless we are in the Torah, unless we are with doing what our Creator wants. And you will end up with a tremendous amount of Christians. And they think they're enamored in this, right? They think that they have all of this, and they speak in the name of the Creator. But Matthew 7 says the Son of the Creator is going to tell them to depart, and He sends them all to hell. Okay, continuing on. 21. And brother shall deliver up brother to death, and a father his child. And children shall rise up against parents and shall put them to death. And you shall be hated by all for my name's sake. But he who shall have endured to the end shall be saved. Guys, this is it, right? These are what we are supposed to do. We are these people that are supposed to be being beaten up for the word of our Creator, right? We're going to be hated for the name of our Creator, for the name of His Son, for the ways forward, right? Nobody wants to keep Torah. Everybody is programmed to think that's bondage. That's the worst thing that we could possibly ever do is have to keep Torah, right? We have to be obedient to the designer of the universe. What a shame, right? Crazy how people think. 22, 23. And when they persecute you in the city, flee to another. For truly I say to you, you shall by no means have gone through the cities of Yisrael before the son of Edom comes. A Talmud, it's not a Jewish Talmud, we're talking about a disciple. A Talmud is not above his teacher, nor a servant above his master. It is enough for the Talmud to become like his teacher, and a servant like his master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebub, how much more those of his household? Therefore, do not fear them, for whatever is covered shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be made known. And whatever I say to you in the dark, speak in the light, and what you hear in the ear, proclaim on the housetops. And do not fear those who kill the body, but are unable to kill the being, but rather fear Him who is able to destroy both being and body in Gehenna. Guys, this is the message for us today. Speak it from the housetops. Speak it proud, speak it properly. Do not fear them. Fear Gehenna, fear hell, fear where our spirits are going to go, our souls are going to go when we're dead, right? How much does our Father love us? Continuing on, Messiah says, are not two sparrows sold for a copper coin, and not one of them falls to the ground without your Father? And even the hairs of your head are all numbered. So do not fear. You are worth more than many sparrows. Guys, these are things that are encouragement. These are things that we should know that the Creator of the universe who has created everything has created you. He's created me. He has breathed the breath of life into all of us. He has given us a way forward. And if we choose to worship Him, He has given us eternity with He and His Son. If we choose not to worship Him, if we choose not to obey His law, statutes, and commandments, then by default, our leader is Hasatan. It's the devil. And that's who's going to be our leader at the end of time. That's who's going to be locked away with us. So you're either going to have a group of people who are Kodesh, who love our Creator, who do what He wants, or you're going to have this place that probably looks like Las Vegas. And that's probably what hell's going to be like as everyone's being tortured, right? It's just going to be evil. Choose the people who you're going to be with around right now. Continuing on. Everyone, therefore, who shall confess me before men, him I shall also confess before my Father who is in the Shamayim. This is our attorney Messiah Yahushua, right here. Our Messiah is going to be an advocate. He's going to be the one who confesses Him before the Father. Who else do we have to confess before the Father? Guys, this is who we want. We want a judge who is a proper judge. We want an advocate who is licensed. There's only one licensed attorney in the Shamayim, and it is Messiah Yahushua. Nobody else qualifies. Nobody else would even know. We don't know the Torah well enough to even judge by it, but Messiah does. And so if we are denying our Creator, if we're denying his Son, don't expect the day of judgment, the day of accounting, to be anything but sadness and misery. Guys, it doesn't take much to have faith. When you have faith and you understand that the Son of the Most High came and died and put his life to bring and to break the spiritual death of the Torah, it becomes exciting. It becomes something that if people want to laugh at you at, all you can do is just shake your head. It doesn't have anything to do with you. They don't hate you. They hate the kingdom. They hate the way. They hate the word. They hate a better way forward. That's not on you guys. Shake it off. Go to the next person and continue on. 34, do not think that I have come to bring peace on earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to bring division, a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man's enemies are those of his own household. Guys, this is the same thing. Messiah is telling us what the things we are going to encounter. And when you are in Torah, you lose this, right? We lost when we got into Torah, when we moved out of the United States of America, we lost all of our family. They told us evil, mean things, and then when we wanted to come back, and then blah, 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 and evil things were told to us, right? When we started keeping the commandments of our Creator, we became outcasts because we didn't celebrate Christmas. And all of a sudden, all the times we're there with Christmas, that's no more. All of a sudden, there's a hole where we used to be, and now we're the crazy people that we don't keep these satanic holidays. So this is what Messiah says. He's coming to bring division, right? Not everybody's going to want the Torah. In fact, 95% of the world probably doesn't even give a dang about the Torah, about our Creator, about anything like that, right? Because if you truly love God with all your heart, mind, and soul, you love Yah with every bit of your being, then you will fall upon his words and you will cherish his words, which are only found in Torah. Continuing on, 37 says, he who loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he who loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he who does not take up his stake and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who has found his life shall lose it, and he that has lost his life for my sake shall find it. He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me who sent me. Now,
Him who sent me.
Him who sent me. Sorry, going to the next thing. Thank you. Now, we're talking about Messiah says that we're not to love our father and mother more than him. We're not to love anything more than the Creator of the universe, right? This is the conundrum that we are all up against, because sometimes we get married to people who are not Torah keepers. Sometimes we get into a relationship with people who are not Torah keepers. And all of a sudden, what does that do? That brings enmity into our house, right? I've seen many, many, many women that try to convert their men into this. I've seen men that fall into Torah that try to get their women into it. And it either goes gently and smoothly, or it goes to the part where they're estranged, right? He has a strange religion. He has a strange way. And that is what Messiah is talking about. This will divide families. When you find the truth, we can't live in this world like we used to live. We have to separate ourselves. And those who want to be separated will separate, but those who will not usually separate from you. 38. Where am I? 39. He who has found his life shall lose. Actually, 40. He who receives you receives me, and he who receives me receives him who sent me. He who receives a Nabai, a prophet, in the name of a Nabai shall receive a Nabai's reward. And he who receives a righteous one in the name of a righteous one shall receive a righteous one's award. And whoever gives one of these little ones a cold cupful only in the name of a Talmud, a name of a disciple, truly I say to you, he shall by no means lose his reward. Now, I think this pretty much sums this up. Do we have anything in chat at all?
People are just talking about their families disowning them too.
Yeah, I see that. I have another chat. I'm actually reading some of this, so I can't. The chat doesn't work on YouTube stuff. Go figure. Okay. All right, guys. Well, this is the end, and I truly hope that you guys are the family that we are all able to high five and to give big hugs to in the kingdom to come, right? There's a special group of people, and the special group of people are all alike, and that they value everything in Scriptures. They value the life and the job of our Messiah. They value the kingdom to come. They value the ways of our Creator, and they value Him. And if we don't, then by default, we're going to lose our way, right? There's no way forward. The kingdom is not out there. And I think it was Stiller, somebody was talking earlier in this about people that never ever get to where they are at. Will they be rejected? And I don't know. I honestly don't know, which is why I always say that I'm glad I'm not the creator of the universe. I'm glad I'm not in judgment. I'm glad I don't have to do this, because we have all in our lives, if we are seeking our creator, have an opportunity to find it. Our creator will not let us down. If we are seeking him and we are open to this, but if we're just the world and we're content with the world, then who knows if what's going to happen. But by us not accepting the creator of the universe and his son, then we're rejecting it. That's just the default. And so if we reject it and we reject that walk and we live like the world walks, we should not expect anything. We should expect a horrible Gehenna, a horrible way forward, a place where the worms will eat our corpse and we'll never die, and the heat's going to not be great. Every time that we see the description of what hell sounds like, it sounds like a really terrible place. It sounds like a place we wouldn't want to be. And so if we have a chance right now of protecting our soul, at finding the way forward, and we're not doing it, this is all on us. It'll always be on us. So guys, with that, I think this is the end. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yehovah baruch you and guard you. Yehovah make his face shine upon you and shall favor you. Yehovah lift his face upon you and give you peace. They shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I myself shall barak them.
Okay. All right, fam. We love you guys very, very much. Shabbat shalom, and we'll rend the heavens. right, beautiful family out there. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May his grace forever be a part of our life. May the Torah always be a part and a forefront between our eyes, and that we are always with our Creator. And may we see each other in the kingdom to come. We love y'all. Shabbat shalom.
All right.
Shabbat shalom.